Why does everyone in the Big Ten become Iowa?
Everything evolves to eventually become a crab.
Ryan Day wanted the crab fight.
This team has two claws and he wants to snip at you with them.
He will play like the crab if he feels threatened.
Yeah, well, speaking of Ohio State, we can talk about the Big Ten championship. Indiana won 13-10 in well, no, not in overtime. They just won. Um,
Who's your daddy, baby? Who's your daddy? The amount of times I heard that in a bar in Auburn, Alabama was hilarious.
it has to be said that this is the greatest coaching job ever.
Yes.
I don't think people are fully appreciating how fucking bad Indiana was. They were like, we all agree Matt Campbell is a good coach for winning 8 games at Iowa State. Indiana was a worse program, and he just beat Ohio State and is the number one team in the country. Uh,
First number one win ever in program history for Indiana.
I know
This
it was.
going into a place like Indiana and going 24-2 in your first 2 years is literally like picking up CFB 26, saying, "Oh, I'm going to turn around a shitty program," and you set the difficulty to freshmen and you just run through it. And he did it in real life. It's fucking insane.
I know. Somebody had said after they won the Big Ten, after they won the game, Signetti was walking out there completely straight faced, and I don't remember the guy's Reddit username, but it was really funny. He was just like, Kurt Signetti is an Asian father in a white man's body. Like the way he just does not react. I never related so hard to a comment. It was so funny. He could win the national championship and be completely straight faced.
God, dude, it's hard to overstate how big of the turn of a turnaround this is. Like they are the favorite for the national championship. 12 teams, 4 teams, whatever. They are the favorite. They beat the defending national champion. They caught up, quote unquote, to Ohio State after being what, 14, 17 points behind them last year on the road. I don't know. I don't know. Things are just different. Like this feels like Clemson. Like it feels like there is a new empire in college football, and Indiana's not an underdog story. They're not an under the radar thing. They are the team to beat. And that makes no sense to me. Vanderbilt pulling off a couple big wins last year, then following it up with 10 wins this year. That's insane. This happening to this scale and being so complete, unreal. I don't know. It still doesn't compute.
Right. And you know what? Getting into the actual game, I I want to pat myself in the back, but also say I was wrong because I said that both teams would get pressure on their respective QBs, and Indiana was in the back, was hitting Julian Sand like pretty consistently. But I also thought he did a better job dealing with it than I expected. What surprised me was just that Ohio State's receivers didn't have as good of a day as I thought they would. It was actually that Indiana's secondary held up better than I expected, which kind of like counteracted the defensive line pressure that they were getting, or the how well Julian Sain was dealing with the defensive line pressure. You know.
Yeah, early in the first quarter when Sayan threw that pick and then Indiana ended up with just a field goal, I really thought it was like, okay, this is the Michigan game again, where like you really got to get touchdowns out of these short field opportunities because I thought Indiana's secondary would have problems in the second half covering the three NFL receivers that are on Ohio State's team.
Yeah.
But I was very impressed that their defense held up so well and gave them a chance to win this game, even only scoring 13 points against a good defense.
Well, it was because Indiana got to sit with two safeties because they were getting so much pressure on just base with their four down linemen that they actually were just sitting with two safeties over the top. And that made it really hard for Ohio State to push it downfield as much as they wanted to. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, it's crazy. Indiana has what, six 4 stars on the entire roster? That's it?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, they were killing Ohio State's. They were in the backfield every play.
I don't
Development.
know if they've
It's
seen anything like that this year. I think Michigan might have like just like without knowing anything, one of the better defensive fronts they faced, but this really was like their hardest game, obviously, but I don't know how else it would compare. Like they didn't play any other big games this year besides the Texas one, and Texas, their defense hadn't really gelled yet, I would say, in the beginning of the year. But I'm still surprised. I
Yeah,
picked Ohio State to win. I thought, they could get to 17, like even if they had a slow day, but this
right.
just solidifies Indiana's like defense, like in the way that they went about building it. Like it really is their front four that begins and ends everything. Because like Sayan was looking like a young quarterback again, and he just hasn't for most of the year.
Right. I will say I do think I still think this was Ohio State's game to lose at times. Um the 4th and 1 call in the red zone, like I agree with the call. But it's like the Philadelphia Eagles have broken the brains of every offensive coordinator in college football. You can't all do this QB sneak thing. It never works unless you're the Eagles, unless your quarterback squats 1,000 pounds and the running back behind him pushing him squats 2,000 pounds. You cannot just guaranteed QB sneak it for 1 yard when you've got Timothy Chalamet at quarterback. He's tiny. Okay, he can't just do that. I honestly think had they just run the ball with Bo Jackson, they probably just get it the 1 yard. I thought it was a horrible decision. I thought that was the difference in the game. Everyone's going to say it was the field goal. And of course, Ohio State missed a chip shot, but Indiana missed a 40-yarder. Like they both missed one field goal. The differential was about right. Um, that QB sneak was terrible. I don't know
yeah.
why you would call a QB sneak.
I
I
think yeah,
Go ahead.
I think another point where Ohio State should be kicking themselves that's not the field goal. That was no pun intended. Jeremiah Smith should have scored a touchdown on that deep ball. Like in the third quarter, I believe that they ended up getting a field goal out of that drive. I mean, it's an unfair standard for anyone except Jeremiah Smith because he's so good. You just expect him to make an awesome play there and beat the one guy you have to beat to score a touchdown. And yeah, that's probably not really fair, but I think it, so I'm gonna say it.
Right.
I mean, one of the issues that you were able to like look at Ohio State that I saw Ohio State complaining fans complaining about was how they handle short yardage in red zone. They normally have a ton of trips and they're pretty good at converting them, but the handful of times you do miss, you just hope it doesn't come back to bite you. And when your defense is playing lights out like it has all year, it's just not really a concern. This is the first time where like, oh, okay, this problem will affect us in the playoffs. And I think as well as Ohio State fans can take a loss, I think they're handling it okay. I mean, you're not eliminated. You're the 2 seed. You still get a bye, and you're probably going to play somebody else that's not Indiana. Really, the focus is like how do we get past them now? Because we left a lot of meat on the bone and they played the game of their lives. So I think we can get it. I mean, I don't think players are thinking, well, maybe, but I would be worried if I were them, but I think that's a fair a fair place to worry. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Ohio State, like you lost, but it was all there. And I don't know. It was just a championship fight. Like it's hard to feel that bad about it, especially when it's not an elimination game. I would just say I think they need to work the short game more with their receivers, and their receivers weirdly didn't do a lot of how do I describe it? Like Ryan Williams short game, like where when Alabama just throws it out to him and he makes like a 14-yard play. They don't seem to do that. They really seem to like try and run like a very NFL like we work the ball downfield and like advanced level passing. And when they don't have the time, they can't do that. And Julian Saint just he's athletic, but he's not athletic enough to just make magic out of nothing. So I will say I kind of like the way he played. I came out of this game weirdly more positive on Julian Saint because I was like, wow, he's been coached well. Like he just keeps his eyes downfield. He's I mean like he's playing in pressure. It's not perfect, but I was like this guy's he's been coached properly. His feet are good. He's making the right reads for the most part, but didn't matter. The receivers just weren't getting the separation they normally would.
Yeah, I thought both quarterbacks played like good, not great. Like neither
Hmm.
one of them, had a Pavia moment and like won the game for their team. But they both played well enough that their performance is worthy of a win on either end. It just happened to be that Indiana had scored more points.
Right. Can we talk about the or not Pavia, the Mendoza post game interview? It was like a I don't know, it was like a Christian like UFC fighter or something. Like he was trying to like
Yeah.
hype up a crowd. It was hilarious. I'd never heard him speak. I didn't know what I
Mm.
thought he would sound like, but it was not that. It was
So
really funny.
he had a very similar post game interview after Oregon and Penn State, so I kind of knew what we were getting into, but
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he was just like emotional or if his voice is like normally there. So I don't know. But it's great when you see the raw emotion from a guy who just, I don't know, maybe change the landscape of the sport for the next however long. Like
I know. Yeah.
this could
yeah.
just be like, a quick blip on like, the rivalry now between Ohio State and Indiana. Who would have thought? But this could be, if you wanted to start writing a narrative, you could have this be a more important moment, but that remains to be seen.
The last time Indiana beat Ohio State was like 30 years ago,
Yeah.
maybe 40.
The last time Indiana won the Big Ten, it was World War II. It was like
Well,
literally, I think it
they
was
they had a
1945.
split title in 67, but their last solo conference title was in the 40s.
Okay, right. So it's either the Eisenhower administration or the Nixon administration or whoever either way, yes, it's been a long fucking time. Um, yeah. I think that's everything I had. Indiana's the favorite. You'd have to say they're the favorite for the title at this point. So, anything else?
Going
Yeah.
for it on that final third down, on 3rd and 6, just taking a shot and throwing it
Hmm.
up to Charlie Becker. We are Charlie Becker carrying the flame
Uh,
and winning the game, dude. That's we always end up in the same place when we're talking about like close games and how you manage your late downs. And obviously, it's situational football, blah blah blah. Like, but at the same time, we look at Ohio State falling short in the red zone, getting stopped in that QB sneak, choosing to go for a field goal instead of going for that single yard to convert after they failed the other time. And that being the difference in the game, it's still like 3 minutes and you're giving the ball back to Signetti. I don't know. I
yeah.
mean, it's easy to say that now. Hindsight's 2020, but that
Yeah.
situational stuff is just going to come up again. And I guess Ohio State hasn't been tested on those just yet. So we'll see how they handle it in the next one.
Yeah. Also, we talked about Fernando Mendoza. Got to give a shout out to Alberto Mendoza, who after Fernando got rocked on their first drive and had to exit for a play, Alberto came in there, handed the ball off, and got back off the field. That dude's gotten a lot of reps this year because of how bad Indiana's been destroying teams. He's played most of the fourth quarters, but He played a snap in the Big Ten championship. Let's go, baby. Big day for the Mendozas.